Good Monday makers, it's time for another community build roundup. In this week's episode, we're going to be checking out a garden sunshade and trellis structure, an attic stair railing, a toolbox shelf, a clothing storage rack, and a really cool bike canopy. All kinds of awesome projects and great things within them. Let's jump right in and check them out. First up is this garden shade structure and trellis, and this comes from Sheena, or at She's a Desert Gardener on Instagram. And she built this really awesome structure around her Vego, I think it's Vego, garden beds, as you can see here. And basically it's just, I think, seven verticals, as you can see here. And it kind of matches the shape of the garden bed. And basically just used a combination of maker pipe T connectors and 90-degree connectors with 3/4 inch EMT conduit to build the framework that goes around the garden bed and then supports a sunshade at the top. And then we can see that she added some nice decoration there, and then also the tomato hooks. And I thought the way she did this was really clever. I believe those are shower curtain hooks turned on their side, which provides kind of a flat edge that the tomato hooks here can grab onto, and then that can go down and trellis the tomato plants below, which is really cool. And here you can see, looks like just a sketch to plan the connectors. There you can see the 90s, the T connectors, and also the measurements. So if you have this exact garden bed from, like I said, I think it's Vego garden beds, but if you have that exact one, you could remake this structure, and it looks like an awesome one that I think will be really useful for this upcoming gardening season. So thanks so much, Sheena, for sharing this. Awesome build. We really appreciate you posting it on Instagram and tagging us. Next up is this attic stair railing, and this comes from Donald, and this is really cool. As you can see here, looks like they got storage in the attic like most people with homes, and they wanted to add a railing around the entryway here, as you can see. This is one of those projects that we love seeing, and he said that he was happy with how strong it was, which is really great to hear. But it's one of those things where we want you guys to be careful when you build something like this. Of course, make sure to do your own testing and make sure it is going to be strong enough for you and what you're using it for. You know, there are more expensive options that are definitely a lot stronger for doing railings and things. But if you're able to use conduit and connectors for a railing like this, then that's great. Just like I said, make sure it's strong enough for you and make sure it's something that you want to use. But he said he was happy with how strong it was, and I think it's a fantastic design. It looks awesome here. Looks like, I think there's 6 total verticals, as you can see. And basically, the bottom of the verticals are connected with flanges. If it's just a straight up and down vertical, then it's a regular flange. If it's an angled piece that goes up to that to support it, then he used the adjustable angle flange, as you can see there. Same thing on the back. And then he just used T connectors to basically connect the top railing to the verticals, which is really awesome. Looks fantastic and just a really great design. And like I said, he said he was happy with how strong it was. So really cool, Donald. Thanks so much for sharing this. We really appreciate it. Next up is a really simple project, but I love it. It's a great example of the modularity you get out of conduit and connectors. So as you can see here, this is meant to be a workbench just to add an extra shelf on top of this toolbox here. And as you can see, they wanted to keep some different things, some vices and different things that they're using in machining. Wanted to keep those close while still being able to take advantage of the top of the toolbox. So basically, just use 4 verticals with flanges on the bottom, and I can see some bolts there, so I imagine they just bolted through the toolbox. Probably a good idea. This steel up here is going to be heavy, so you don't want this to tip over. That's a good idea. And then just use 90-degree connectors to make this simple rung all the way around, and then just a thin piece of wood there to put stuff on top of. And like I said, just super simple, but it's really smart because you can customize the dimensions to fit different toolboxes, and you can change it if you decide you want to add another shelf here. You can add some more 90s and add another shelf halfway up. You could remove some and shorten the shelf. There's all kinds of stuff you can do, and that's what they said they were after. I think it's White Industries is who posted this review, which we really appreciate. And they were happy to find a modular system that they could use. And yeah, fantastic project. Thanks so much for sharing this. We didn't get a name with the review. It just said White Industries, but thank you guys for posting that. Awesome job. Next up is a clothing rack from Bridget. And here you can see this was the clothing rod here that they had to hang up clothes in. I don't know if it's like a house or apartment. Basically wanted to add more storage for clothes. And here's kind of a sketch of what they envisioned. And Bridget shared this, which is really cool. And here you can see the maker pipe structure. A lot of flanges in this week's Maker Pipe Monday, but basically just use flanges to mount the conduit to the wall. And that just kind of sticks out probably like, I don't know, 8 or 10 inches or something off the wall. And then basically just creates kind of a bump out for you to hang clothes on. And And as you can see, here's a great shot of it from the front. Verticals just go down. I imagine they probably have like rubber pipe feet on the bottom of the verticals. It'd be a good thing to protect the floor. And then here it is loaded down with clothes, which looks really awesome. I don't see any kind of flex in the cross pipes or anything, which is fantastic and just a really great solution to add more storage, and just really cool project. So thanks so much, Bridget, for sharing this. We love seeing it. Last but not least is this awesome canopy for this bike. I forget what this is called. I'm just going to call it a chariot for now. This bike chariot, they added a canopy to the back of the seat here, which is fantastic. And basically, they just built a rectangular frame using T connectors to support the sunshade. And then they used adjustable angle connectors to add these pipes that go down and connect it to the bike railing. And then they used the adjustable angle end clamp to create a mounting point for the verticals that go up, as you can see here. They used some hardware to basically bolt through the existing chariot railing here, and it just goes through, and then they just use the end of the end clamp as a mounting point just to add the conduit verticals up and the supports and everything. It's just a really cool project, and just looks like an awesome chariot that they can use for who knows what, but fantastic, and just looks really cool, and a great project, and some cool ideas in there. Thanks everybody for posting your projects. All these will be linked down below if you want to check any of them in more detail. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you in the next video.